Hello, and welcome back to my channel in another episode of Cricut and Budgeting. Last week this past Monday, I showed you some saving trackers that I have created in Cricut Design Space. I'm going to show you how to make them, how they can be made vertically or horizontally. Today, we're going to show you the vertically way. So let's get started. You'll see on my screen, I already have two completed. I'm going to walk you through the steps of a third one because, we're not about saving, so we're going to save paper. I know that 3 of these trackers will fit on one piece of paper for the A6 size. Mine are all made 6 by 3, unless they're the other way, they 3 by 6, but that'll be next week, so we'll get more in depth then. So our first thing we're going to do is we want to make our insert base. So we go to the left, scroll down till we hit shapes, click on it. I always grab the rounded rectangle, that way my edges ain't pointy. And here's our image. Well, it's not big enough. We'll fix that. First, let's go to Operations, and on the solid square, click on it, and let's choose a color. Maybe you want it white, green, whatever color you'd like. Well, I'm going to choose a light blue. Blue is my favorite color. And we're going to just go across the top to the square that says size. We're going to unlock it. The first square, the W for width, I type in 6, hit enter. The second square for height with the little h, I type in 3 and hit enter. Then we're going to lock it. So we don't want it to, when we move it, to come out of our size. So we're going to move it down here some. And then we're going to go back to the left. Let's grab another shape. Let's see, well, I guess those are ovals, those are hearts. Let's do the circle, just a plain circle. And then, first thing we're going to do is back up to the top where it says size. Either the width or the height, don't make a difference which one. Type in a 1 and hit enter. That kind of brings it down. Well, now what color do we want this to be? I want to choose pink. This pink and blue go together, and that'll look cute on there. Well, now we need a dollar denomination on there. Well, we'll scroll down on the left again till we find T for text. We're going to click on it. And we're going to click inside of our box. We're going to backspace out the word text. And let's make these little circles $1 denominations. Click off of it. And then we can move it up. But you see, it's too big. So you just can take the bottom square here, size it, or you can go up to the size and click on one of the bottom barrel arrows here, and that'll also resize it. And just keep moving around, click off. It looks still a little bit too big. Click back on, and we'll do there. In width 0.5, that seems to be a good height. Yep, now what we want to do is highlight both of these, and then where it says align on the top, click on it, and scroll down and hit center. Now that'll put that right smack dab in the center of our circle. I don't really like that color gray on there, so we're going to click on our little dollar sign and our 1. And underneath Operations, the solid square, I'm going to go black. That looks better. Now let's highlight the whole thing. And on the right, underneath the layers, the first double squares, we're going to hit Group. Now that's so when we move this around, they both come together, the circle and our dollar sign. Well, what's our denomination we want for a total amount on here? Well, we're going to choose 15 because 15 is a nice round number. So what we're going to want to do is make sure our little circle is highlighted. Come back over to the layers. Then the center double squares with the plus, we're going to click it 4 more times. Now with these 4 plus that one, that gives us 5 circles. So we're going to line them all up here. Doesn't make a difference how close, if they're even or not, because our Cricut Design Space, it'll do this for us. So we're going to highlight, come across the top to the word align, click on the little arrow, scroll down to align top. There, it just brought them all up so they're all even on the top. We're going to click on that little arrow again and scroll down to distribute horizontally. Now they're evenly spaced. Come back over to the layers panel and click on the first double squares. Now that'll take, it groups them all. But we don't want them that big. And we also need 15. So while it's highlighted, we're going to click on the double squares again in the center under layers 2 more times. And we'll get to the point step to where these will fit on our little insert. We're just going to bring them all up and line them up. Doesn't have to be perfect. So we're going to highlight them again. And underneath align, click on the little arrow and align to the left. Now that's got them all even right here. Then we're going to click on align again and scroll down, but this time we're going to hit distribute vertically. Well, that's got them all evenly spaced. And back over to the right, click on the first square. That way it groups on them. They're all grouped. Now we know this is too big for our insert. Well, we just go up to the size. And in the first one where it says W, let's type in 3.75 and hit enter. And look, they'll fit on there, but maybe we want them spaced out a little bit more. Well, that's easy. We'll unclick. Then in the second box, 2.7 and hit enter. And then put your little lock on. There. That looks better, doesn't it? Well, we have this blank space here. So let's go find an image. For this one, I typed in the word monster and got this chose this little guy. I have him holding the dollar amount that this creates. And for this one, I typed in the word Valentine's and that popped up for images. So on our left, in our little column, it has like a little balloon with the word image below it. We're going to click on that. Well, what image do we want? Not a truck. So we want something that's going to be going up and down. I was looking at trucks for something else. So let's do rabbit. Type in rabbit and click on your little magnifying glass. And rabbits are popping up, but we know that we want one that goes up and down for that space. And we want something cute. So we're just going to scroll through until we find something that is cute. Well, like this little guy. So let's grab him. And on the bottom right, well, it shows that's the one, the first little circle shows the one that you're doing. This is cancel if you don't want to. But we want the highlighted green, add to canvas. And it's going to bring us back to our canvas. And there's our bunny. But wait a minute, he's too big. Well, there's 2 ways of fixing that. grab the corner, size them down, or you can go to your size panel and click on for height. Type in 2.8 and hit enter, because I kind of know these are 3 inches, so if you have them 2.8, he will fit in there. Pretty cute, huh? Let's kind of move this whole thing up. Now I know it's so you guys can see it instead of being down in the corner. There. Look cute, huh? Well, we want to know the denomination. Well, we know it's 5 times 3, that's 15. So let's go to the left again and scroll down to our T and the little word text underneath it and click on it. Then click inside the box, backspace out, and we know that this equals $15. And let's make it black. Back up to operations. Click on the solid square, and we'll click on the black. And then for sizing it, the square, one of the squares, or up to size. Let's put this right on the bunny's belly. That way it'll look like he's holding it. Just size it down to where it looks good to me. Then you highlight the whole thing. Come down to the bottom right. It'll say combine, attach, flatten. We want to flatten that. It'll make it a print and cut. Now we have our 3 designs. That'll go on our piece of paper. So on the top, on the right, the first one, you got to put your machine that you're using. That'll work on the Cricut Makers or the Cricut Explorers families, but it will not work on the Cricut Joy because Cricut Joy does not do print and cut. Mine's already set to Maker because that's what's sitting here. Then we go over to the next green oval. We're going to click on it. Now it's going to bring up our screen of the operations that we have to click through to get ours to print and for our machine to cut it. I have my machine off to the left here, plugged in, turned on, connected to the computer. And see, all 3 fit. I'll come to the bottom right, click continue, because we want it to continue. And while it's trying to connect to our machine, we can go ahead and click Send a Printer. It's going to bring up our print sheet. It's preparing the print. And there we go. Now we want to make sure for printer that we're on the correct one, which I know it is. I have 2 printers connected to this computer. One is my normal printer. The other one is my sublimation printer. We only want 1 copy, so we have the 1 in there. Now for add bleed, we want to turn that off, because we don't want any bleeding of our images. And then click on print. It'll send it to your printer and it'll print off after it prepares. And for some, there it goes. And now while it's printing, we can figure out what are we using. Are we using copy paper? Not me today, but you can. I'm using heavy cardstock. Click on it. Now I know that my blade is getting dull, so I'm going to click on more. And I know that once my blade on more will not cut, it's time to change my blade. Be right back. And let's go grab our printed piece of paper. I'm going to move you guys so you can see my Cricut machine. Try not to get you dizzy, so we can go through the final steps. Let's go grab our paper from the printer. And there's our printed piece. Now on your mat, you want to put this the same way it shows on your Cricut machine or your screen, because if you don't, it won't cut it right. So we're just going to line it up. Press it down on the paper. Not sure how much this you guys are seeing. I'm going to press that down. Okay, then you'll notice on here the flashing arrow. That means I can load my mat into my Cricut machine. So we're going to load it. Click on the little flashing arrow. And now the C is flashing. As we can press that, the first thing it's going to do is it's going to scan these black lines to make sure, kind of check to see where it's cutting at. I'm going to scan them, all 4 of them, and then it'll cut. I'm just going to let it be so you guys know exactly what it's doing. And now it's checking to make sure that the blade is in there. And then it's going to cut around our images for us. The arrow's going to flash, telling me I can unload my mat. Just flip it over. And there you have your inserts to start saving some money. Yes. Now next week, for another Cricut and Budgeting episode, I'll show you how to make the ones that go like this. Bye everybody, and see you on Friday for cash stuffing.